The small town of Willowbrook had always been a place where everybody knew everybody else's business. But nothing had quite rocked the community like the murder of Alan Cross, a gem of a guy known for his warm heart and contagious laughter. The townsfolk gathered at the local diner, the Willow's Haven, whispering and speculating about who could have committed such a heinous act. "There's a murder in the town," they murmured, their eyes darting around. "There's gossip all around."
There's a murder in the town and gossip all around. Who killed this gem of a guy? Do you know the reason why? There's a murder in the town and gossip all around.
Detective Sarah Miller was assigned to the case. She was known for her sharp mind and keen instincts, but even she felt a shiver down her spine as she looked at the crime scene. Alan's lifeless body lay in a pool of blood on the living room floor of his quaint cottage. "The killer's on the loose," she muttered to her partner, Detective James Harris. "The cops are quite confused."
The killer's on the loose. The cops are quite confused.
They combed through the evidence, collecting fragments of shattered glass and analyzing the bloodstains. It seemed like a random act of violence, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this story. "Some clues, they say, they found," James said, holding up a torn piece of paper with a mysterious message scribbled on it. "The killer may still be around," Sarah replied, her curiosity piqued.
Some clues, they say, they found. The killer may still be around.
But in the shadows, secrets hid. A tale of love or wounded pride was beginning to emerge. Behind the whispers, truths remained untold. A tangled web of stories began to unfold.
But in the shadows, secrets hide. A tale of love or wounded pride. Behind the whispers, truths untold. A tangled web of stories unfold.
"They say the victim was on drugs," Sarah muttered, as she sifted through Alan's personal belongings, "and was killed by some local thugs. Or maybe it was an ugly affair," James suggested. "Perhaps what he got was fair."
They say the victim was on drugs and was killed by some local thugs. Some say it was an ugly affair. Maybe what he got was fair.
The townsfolk were divided in their opinions. Some believed it was a random act of violence, while others were convinced that someone close to Alan was involved. Sarah and James questioned one person after another, but the killer seemed to be slipping through their fingers. "The cops have questioned one and all," Sarah sighed in frustration. "But they couldn't name a suspect, that's all."
The cops have questioned one and all. They couldn't name a suspect, that's all. The killer roams around happily free. A cold case it turned out to be.
Days turned into weeks, and the killer remained elusive. The town was gripped by fear, and the gossip mill churned non-stop. Some began to wonder if the killer had left town, while others feared that they were still living among them. "The killer roams around happily free," Sarah mused, staring at a board filled with evidence and leads. A cold case it turned out to be. As the weeks turned into months, the town's obsession with the murder began to wane, but Sarah couldn't let it go. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was something they had missed, a detail that held the key to unraveling the mystery. Late one night, as Sarah was going through the evidence one last time, she noticed something. A tiny detail that had been overlooked by everyone else. It was a photograph hidden among Alan's personal belongings. In the photo, Alan was smiling, his arm wrapped around a woman whose face had been scratched out. Sarah's heart raced as she realized the significance of the photo. Could this woman hold the key to the mystery? She immediately set out to track her down. As she delved deeper into the woman's background, Sarah uncovered a web of lies and deceit. The woman had a dark secret, one that connected her to Alan in a way that no one could have imagined. With this new lead, Sarah and James were able to piece together the truth. It was a story of love, betrayal, and revenge that had led to Alan's murder. The woman in the photo had been driven to commit the crime, and she had carefully covered her tracks, leaving the town baffled. In the end, justice was served, and the town of Willowbrook finally found closure.
One day a stroke of good luck came, and the clues pointed to a dame. There was a murder in the town. Truth prevailed, justice was found. There was a murder in the town. Truth prevailed, justice was found.
But the murder had left scars that would never fully heal. A reminder that even in the quietest of towns, darkness could lurk just beneath the surface. And as the townsfolk looked back on those fateful months, they whispered to one another, "There was a murder in the town, and there was gossip all around. But in the end, the truth prevailed, and justice was found."